Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? Excellent. It's good to see so many people here today. And my name's Lawrence O'Sullivan-Whiting. I'm keeping the mic here, so hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me at the back? Perfect. Right, so what I want to do really is give you some really good information about what career choices there are available to you, not only with apprenticeships, but in the NHS. Now, when most people think about the NHS, they actually just think a doctor or a nurse. The reality is we've got over 350 different positions within the NHS. If you're interested in ICT, in data, pharmacy, science, nursing, allied health, we've got everything available to you. So what I'm going to hopefully cover in the short time that I have is all the career choices you could make, and to really explain that it isn't only about going to university. You can get into the NHS as an apprentice. So what we've done is on these slides, and hopefully you get these shared with you, we've put some really good links to our websites, which really is informative for parents, for children, for teachers, about what apprenticeships are and how you can actually apply for a position. So at Great Ormond Street, we use apprenticeships in two different ways. Currently, we have nearly 300 staff completing apprenticeship programs from entry level to degree level. Last year, we qualified our first nurses ever through the apprenticeship route. What we do is we work with the local communities around us as a borough to recruit into new positions which require you to have no previous experience. So you don't have to say, I've worked for 3 years in a clinical setting, can I work in the NHS? You can really start your career. The way apprenticeships are put together is apprenticeships are now put together by employer groups that are really invested in growing future workforce. So these standards are not put together by teachers, they're not put together by government, they're put together by industry leaders that know what a qualification means in that industry. We've got links where we recruit into clear positions like our healthcare support worker program, our admin positions, as well as pharmacy, ICT, and it's growing and growing. Now, what I want to do really is explain some myths about apprenticeships. So apprentices don't have lower expectations than normal employees. As an apprentice, you could be completing a recognised qualification alongside working full-time. Now, the advantage of that is that you're not at college and you're not at uni full-time, you're learning on the job. You do not have to be at college or uni for 3 or 4 days a week. What you're given is 6 hours learning time in every single position that you're working in to study in that area. But the advantage as an apprentice is you get to put those things you've learned straight into practice that week. If you're doing a degree at university, you're going to learn something for 3 or 4 years and not actually put it into practice until year 5 when you start your job. So the difference on an apprenticeship is you're learning all of the time. We found at Great Ormond Street as well is that a lot of our apprentices bring new energy and enthusiasm into a position. So when we get new youngsters like yourselves into our positions to start your career, you bring brand new ideas, you bring brand new energy, and actually help build a team and bring new ideas into that team. And what we found as well is when our managers recruit new apprentices, they save time and resource as well. Our Gosh Apprenticeships email's there, so if you want any further information, take some pictures there. We're on table 14 just around the corner as well if you want some more information. So to give you a little bit of an idea of where we are as an organisation at Great Ormond Street, we have over 300 apprentices. We work with 30 education providers. That includes private providers, colleges and universities. We have over 50 different courses available, and that's going to keep growing. I'm going to show you on the next slide how many courses that looks like. And that equates to over 5% of our workforce. So we've got nearly, I think, 6,000 employees at Great Ormond Street, and 5% of that workforce are doing an apprenticeship, which is an outstanding statistic to share with you. What we want to really explain to you today is that apprenticeships and the apprenticeship journey is an alternative to university. This will not be explained to you at school, clearly. It won't be explained to you clearly at college because you're told the traditional route. We want to explain all routes to you. I'm not anti-university. It might sound like that. I'm not. What I would like you to do is actually have all the cards on the table so you understand the options that are available to you as a student. Now, that's a very busy slide. You'll see that there's lots of positions there where we're building brand new full career pathways. So you can see that we've got ones in allied health professions, we've got science, ICT. There's actually so much on this slide, it won't even fit on the screen. This is how many apprenticeships we do. So if you look at the clinical programs and even allied health, you can become an occupational therapist, you can become a physio, you can look at ICT and data, we've got HR, we've got customer service, we've got teaching qualifications and coaching qualifications. So you can literally become anything you want to be via an apprenticeship. That's what I'm here to explain to you today. In terms of our apprentices, as I said, this is really stretched across clinical and non-clinical pathways. And what you can see is that we do recruit lots of brand new apprentices into the workforce. So we use it on our existing teams, but we also use it to recruit new talent into our workforce. One benefit you've got for working at Great Ormond Street is that when you start as an apprentice with us, when you're successful, we will make you permanent. Not all employers do that. So at Great Ormond Street, we allow you to start your career with no previous experience, and when you finish, we make you permanent. Now, what that does, it gives you a full-time salary, which you have as an apprentice anyway, but it's really the start of your career. Because after that, you're a permanent employee, you get all the permanent benefits, you have no debt, which you would get at university, typically about 30K actually. You'll have no debt, you'll still have your qualifications, and you're starting your career. So for me, there are a lot more benefits to that. In terms of our workforce impact, there's some statistics here that I really want to highlight in terms of the way we've changed the way we recruit. So with our apprenticeship strategy, we've found that we've increased the diversity of our workforce. So as we've opened up more and more pathways to not your traditional academic routes from university, we've allowed our local community to join our workforce. That's improved our retention, it's improved our diversity, and it's actually made our workforce more reflective of the patients we serve at Great Ormond Street. And that has a massive impact on our patient care and our patient service. In terms of the impact, you can see that we get people from all different ages and backgrounds. And what I'd like to explain to you today, if you're 16, you can become an apprentice. If you're 60, you can become an apprentice. There are no age barriers to apprenticeships, and you can think about doing an apprenticeship at any level. What I'm going to show you on the next couple of slides really are the full career pathways from start to finish that exist within the NHS and at Great Ormond Street. So if you can see here, at the top of the slide there is our healthcare support worker program, and that's you starting your clinical career. Through the apprenticeship route, you can go all the way into nursing, you could go sideways and go into allied health, or you could even go into teaching. So really what I'm showing you on this slide is when you complete an entry-level apprenticeship, what you do after that, you've got a lot of choice. The advantage you'll have is when you qualify, again, I'm going to keep stressing this, you'll have industry experience and you'll have no debt. You'll have no student debt. We've got a full science pathway, so you can actually qualify as a full scientist within the NHS via the apprenticeship route. You do not have to go to university to even be a scientist. We've got a non-clinical route, so now we promote our staff to do their CIPD, to work in HR. We've got project management qualifications and leadership and management as well. So some facts about apprenticeships. If you're lucky enough to get an apprenticeship course and a position, your qualification will be funded by your employer. It won't be funded by your parents, it won't be funded by your teacher, it won't be funded by you. It will be funded by your employer. You will work mostly on the job, learning as you go along through whatever apprenticeship program that you're doing. you'll achieve nationally recognised qualifications. And I'm going to show you some of our graduates in a few slides in a minute. But what you'll find is when you graduate, you'll get the same certificate you would have at university, you just haven't paid for it. That's the difference your employer has. Apprenticeships can be for all ages. And believe it or not, the NHS is actually looking at starting a doctor's apprenticeship this year. So within the NHS, you could qualify as a doctor via an apprenticeship. And that's very new, and it's something exciting to share with you. Apprenticeship benefits include the fact that when you're an apprentice, you're officially a student. So that means that you get all the perks of being a student. You get an apprentice Oyster card, you get student discount cards, you get all of the benefits of being a typical student at university. I would argue as an apprentice that you get more support than you typically would going to university. Because what you're given at work is a mentor. You're given a team around you that supports you. You're given a full-time salary. You're getting your qualification paid for. So for me, the benefits are huge. As I said, and I keep forcing this home really, is that as an apprentice is the start of your career. So you will gain a full-time job at the end of it. Now, when you go to university, do you think you're guaranteed a job at the end of university? I can tell you you're not. You'll begin to look for a job, and that can be a struggle. Couple of pictures here. So we've got on my left here that I'm pointing at, these are our first nurse graduates that qualified last year. They're all fully qualified nurses, all different age groups, all different backgrounds, and we've fully paid for their nursing degree qualification. We're going to keep growing that, and what we've found is that by promoting our staff to engage with apprenticeships and qualify into their chosen routes, we're allowing them to reach their career goals, and we hope to retain them in the future. We've actually got a really good role at our trust. Not many people know about this career called Play Specialist. So these Play Specialists are allied health professionals that support our children on site that are in for urgent medical care or in for prolonged stays at Great Ormond Street. A really supportive role. So as you can see, when you qualify through an apprenticeship, you even get the nice gown and the hat that goes with graduating. It's exactly the same thing. You're just getting it funded through the apprenticeship route. So in terms of the impact and need, the NHS is trying to grow its workforce. We're trying to get more youngsters into the workforce, and it's part of the long-term NHS workforce plan. Within the workforce plan that's just been released by government, apprenticeships are due to have substantial growth within the NHS. We recruit into over 13 positions, I think now, at Great Ormond Street with no prior experience necessary. To meet these targets that's set out by the NHS, we're going to have to increase that provision, and we're going to have to increase the amount of apprenticeship programs that we have available. So our plans for the future are really to grow more entry positions into the NHS, and I think a lot of NHS trusts will be doing it in your area. If you're interested in working in the NHS, I'm sure you've all got a hospital near you. Have a look and see what apprenticeship positions they've got available. We would like to get more apprentices. We're even opening up construction positions because we're building a brand new cancer centre at Great Ormond Street, and we're going to be opening new apprenticeships in construction as well. So what we'd like to do, in essence, is grow our future workforce via apprenticeships, and at the moment there's 800 different apprenticeships to choose from. They won't be all relevant to Great Ormond Street, but we'd hope to get more and more on board. This is one of our plans. So we're building a brand new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street. It's a huge project. It's going to be 5 years in the making. It's currently started in the last few weeks, and we're going to have apprentices working on this project. That's significant, and we're going to recruit our apprentices from the local area in Camden and Islington as well. So if you wanted to work in construction, this is an exciting opportunity to look out for. We're an award-winning trust. We've won lots of awards, as so have our apprentices. A lot of our apprentices are national ambassadors. A lot of them have won awards. And actually, I think in terms of the exposure you get when you're an apprentice, you've got events like this, you've got national awards. There's a lot more exposure to you as you would be than you would be a normal student. I think you've got more access to other employers, more access to other networks, more access to other opportunities. So really, I'd like to end by saying that I think apprenticeships are for everyone. I think you really need to consider the route. I think you need to weigh up your options. I think you need to inform your parents, your carers, your supporters who are around you to share the apprenticeship journey and the value that it can bring to you. But also, look at university and weigh up if that is really the right option for you, because that will be the only thing that's promoted to you. Look at apprenticeships and see what they can do for you. We've also included some really good links, which you can come over to table 14 just around the corner. We've got some really good QR links that will give you all these various links to apply for an apprenticeship in the NHS, how to search effectively, because if you put apprenticeships into Google, you'll get about 3,000 results and you won't know where to look. We've got some really good supportive links on our websites. There are more links. We've got our own YouTube channel. We've got our own landing page as well. So please check them out. We've got some really good case studies from our apprentices who will tell you what it's like to live as an apprentice at work. And we've got some really good links into the vacancies within the NHS. So thanks for your time today. Thanks for your attention. If you want to know more about apprenticeships in the NHS, please come over and see us at table 14 on the right-hand side. Thank you very much.